John McCaig with JesusChristTrust.net, and I'm just going to get into more and more videos of practical applications and information that's hidden. That's what I'm going to focus on. Okay, so this one is about speaking to the devil and how it works and the aspects of it. Okay, I've probably spoken to the devil, I would say, you know, 20 times plus. I don't want to exaggerate, but I would say absolutely knowing I was speaking to the devil maybe 20 times plus, something like that. Uh, let's get into what happens in that event. Okay. First time I ever spoke to the devil knowingly was in Chase Bank when I started the trust. The first time I got offered $485 million. That was the first time. Okay. And it really changed everything. What you speak to the devil, you realize the whole thing is real. It's probably, aside from God's grace that gives you Christ consciousness, speaking to the devil is probably, the most important uh, event of your life, probably, because you're like, oh my God, this is real. And so you have to make your decision at that moment. You have to make your decision beforehand, really. But you will make your decision in that moment. So, the devil's a liar. The devil's, saying a lot of things, but the answer you want to give is no, thank you. That's it. So let's get into what happens during that event. Okay. Now remember in the Bible, there's a thing that one day is like 1,000 years. Okay. Over there in the ether world, the hidden world, the one you can't see, uh, they're watching us. They can do anything over there. They pop in and out of the ether whenever they choose. That's just one of their abilities. And so, how that plays out when you're speaking to the devil is, now let's talk about speaking to the devil. Um, the devil can kind of take any form. Let's just say that, take any form. Uh, Meaning, it could have a form appear, you know what I mean? Or show up, like uh, when I was at Chase Bank and I got offered the offer from the devil first time. The devil came in a body, like 33 years old, black and white suit, drove up in a supercar, stuff like that, was in a body, excuse me, and, I've told that story so many times, but what happens during the event is the devil gets, you know, I, I've seen this happen. Oh, I should have maybe pulled this up, but in Westworld they show this, and in John Wick they show this. Like all the humans stop on a dime, like all of them. You know what I mean? Like time stops, click. And the devil shows up, and that's not all that happens. It happens in a weird way. Okay, it's hard to describe, but I'll do my best to describe it. There's kind of a narrowing of your focus, shall we say? Like your eyesight is just in front of you. The rest is sort of like everything out of your very near perimeter of, say, 8, 10, 12 feet, something like that. Anything outside of that sort of becomes fuzzy in reality. Like it sort of slows down and it's sort of not there. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to describe. It's very you haven't experienced anything like it. And to be honest, you don't notice immediately, because it's just your little area is sort of operating as you are used to it operating. But you don't notice, kind of like the first time or whatever necessarily, that time has like sort of stopped around you. You know what I mean? Like you're so freaked out, you're talking to the devil and stuff, like you're focused on that. You know what I mean? And your focus in that area is the only area that's sort of like you didn't there's no disconnection with time on in your experience. You know, your time is continuing. You know, but what's happening is there's like, you know, the clutch got disengaged with the rest of the time around you. You know what I mean? Like you're in this little bubble and you're speaking to the devil who just showed up. Okay, so it's just an unusual thing that's hard to explain, but once you experience it, especially a few times, you begin to realize that it's happening. So that's one way I've spoken to the devil, and I've only done that one time. Where the devil comes in a body and spoke to me, I've done that one time. But I've talked to the devil those other 20 times or so, right? In other human bodies. I think like maybe three other bodies, something like that, as I could count. Something like that. Like it's one of the 33. You see, you're speaking to, you're having a conversation with, or whatever, and this is what happens. It doesn't go well. The conversation, you're like, nah, with Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, you put in something that makes them flip their freaking switch. You know, like you have told them something like, you're powerless, you're with the devil. You know what I mean? Like, however, they're not getting to you at that moment, like, as just an agent, like, in a body, the devil gets pissed. You know what I mean? Because it can see through one of their eyes, at least one of their eyes. Okay, at least one, if not two, but at least one of their eyes it has access to. You see, it just sees everything through there, you know? And so, as it's seeing that, you know, it has a reaction and it can't help itself, sort of, and it jumps into the body. And it's much like this Agent Smith character in The Matrix. Like, if you've ever seen that, like just humans are walking down the street and they like their eyes change and they turn into this Agent Smith who's just this black and white suit, you know what I mean, like the devil. And so it's a very strange event because you're speaking to someone, right? And then all of a sudden it's not them, you know? And their voice changes and usually their eyes change. I've also not spoken to the devil in different forms when it has been the devil around me, watching me, and I look at it, and like one of these humans or whatever, like this. What I'll just say, like an example. Okay, there've been many examples, but one example, like some guy came by the place to, you know, do like bug control, you know, kill the ants or something like that. I was spraying some stuff or something outside this trailer or whatever. And he looked at me and literally his eyes were slits like a freaking lizard. I mean, absolutely. I'm looking at his eyes and he's telling me some stuff. And he literally was talking about bugs. And then he started talking, like in the middle of talking about bugs or whatever he said. And this was a while ago, okay? So there was that whole fake, you know, planned demonic, the planned demonic, pandemic. And so it was during that. And he looks at me and says, oh, my wife's, you know, at something at a hospital and da da da, you know, about that. And literally, when he began speaking that, his eyes turned to slits. And when he was done speaking that, because he tried to blink and stuff, apparently they can sort of tell something's going wrong. And I was just like, you know, that creature never came back. Put it that way. Uh, it was just, you know, it was speaking about trying to get me to go for, you know, the evil lies that they were spinning at that time. That thing just pops in there, you know, it changes its voice, it changes its eyes. There are tell signs that are always there. They're never not there. Okay, uh, where you're actually speaking to it. You know what I mean? And generally, a lot of times, like right after I turned down the offer and stuff, I talked to it in a bunch of different bodies for maybe 2 years or something like that. It just kind of went on for a little while. Now it just doesn't come around anymore because it never gets a win. Never wins, and it's realizing that I've forgiven it, so I don't care. Whatever, it's powerless over me. You're forgiven. It's the worst thing you do to the devil. You're forgiven. I have no need of you anymore. You have nothing I want. Goodbye. And it's like, you know what I mean? It loses. Like you just sent it off and gave it, I won. Thanks. I don't need you anymore. Bye. It just absolutely hates losing. Wants you back and will pay you money, and its only role is to keep these, as as the warden of this prison, is to keep you in prison. And once you beat it, you have to beat it continuously. You don't beat it once, you beat it every breath you take, until it just doesn't show up anymore because it's just had enough and it realized he's going to learn something from every interaction. I keep giving stuff away, so it quits, you know, it quits, and it's like, okay, nothing good is happening on its side, so why engage anymore? You see, instead, then it starts to try and hide you. You know what I mean? Can't be seen on social media. Everything around me, no humans around me ever, anywhere. You know what I mean? It's always them. It's always a police car in front of me. It's always a fire engine in front of me. It's always several times a day the helicopters over my house. Last night, shining the light and circling and circling and circling and circling. Not right at my place, nearby. It's just wants you to know, hey, I'm still here, and so, so what? Keep your distance. And, I just don't think of it anymore like that. Like, I know what my adversary is, but I also know I've beaten it. So, and it knows I've beaten it. So, what else we gotta say? It's just, waiting for my thoughts to change, waiting for a chink in the armor, waiting for anything. And I just take God's name all day, every day. I take it when I wake, I take it when I sleep. I take it when a thought enters that's like, what? I'm like, okay, I just start repeating God's name. Mary Baba, Jesus Christ, Mary Baba, Jesus Christ, Mary Baba, Jesus Christ. And for everyone else, it should be straight Jesus Christ, okay? I know who the Father is because I met with him. I physically met with Bear. I met with Bear Baba at Bear Baba's tomb. So for me, I know that's the Father. I know the Son is the Son. I met with him right after, and I met with Gabriel, the Holy Spirit, that initiated that contact. So I know who's who in the Father, Son, and the Holy Trinity. I know because I've met with them and engaged with them and taken my role and been, well, whatever, been given my role. There's no take. There's here you go. And but it's just important to know that these attributes or aspects of when you meet with the devil. You know what I mean? Because if you're doing this work, and if you're really doing it, if you're trying to move forward towards God, towards Jesus, and you're leaving the things behind that are not true, and you used to engage your time and all that stuff, then the devil notices, I'm losing a soul here, which is not the devil's goal. The devil's goal is to gain souls. It's programmed that way. It is born to lose. And, that is upsetting to it. It's a crazy, I'm crazy from being under the dome, whatever, 50 years or so, 50 some years, you know. Think about the devil is just a loony, you know what I mean? Just absolutely off its rocker. So it's given, powers, given everything, and, can get pretty much everything. But once you get past that, it's just an angry little, insane creature that really, that's your god. Like, it's not good, Another time, and this body I spoke to the devil in many times, and I'll just say Z. That's what it calls itself, Z. And not a word come out of that creature's mouth that was true. Not one, not in the whole time I met it. Nothing came out of its mouth that was true. Nothing. Like zero. And I met that creature at the Meher Baba Center with a baby and a wife. So it seemed okay, but it wasn't. You get me? These ages, the devil is everywhere waiting for you. And I tell you, there was a hurricane, not this most recent one, but there was a hurricane a few years ago. And this Z was, was living around here. Oh, living in his car with an 18-year-old girl. He was 33 and got her pregnant. I mean, it was just so horrible. I can't even, just to even say this stuff, it's just the devil is so evil. What's the worst thing that you could do to anyone and anyone around you is like choose an 18-year-old right when they choose to turn 18, an 18-year-old girl, and get them pregnant and move on. I mean, what more evil could be wrought? Seriously. And this is what I'm witnessing. And so, I'm like, and there's a hurricane coming. They're sleeping in their car nearby. I was like, okay, you could come over until it's gone and leave. I invited the devil into my home. Never do that again, but I learned from it. And it came with another 18-year-old girl. For me, I was like, I just couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. I really, it's I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. And that 18-year-old, it had one. It's like, oh, here's this extra one. And it sat there and drew Bear Mama pictures. I mean, it was just, the devil has every power. You get it? No way. I was like, out you go. Right after the hurricane, I was like, get out. you know. And it just got so pissed, that I wouldn't go for that 18-year-old girl, and I was pleasant and kind, and okay, you're here for the hurricane, and just out you go. So angry, like that I did not, you know, go for the easiest bait ever seen. You know what I mean? Jailbait. Oh no, it's not. She's 18. It's like, oh my God. I have daughters, that are older than her. What is it? Oh, it's just so pathetically horrible. There's no describing it. There's no describing the ickiness, just just where it is. I just wanting no part of it is just it's not even possible to say. It's like oil and water. Sorry, it's like just what it has, I don't want. What this world has, I don't want. And that devil that has control of everything in this world is angry. You see? And then on the beach, I was speaking to this Freemason, young, not trans, right? Not trans, but one of these fallen angels with attributes of both. And it had just ceaseless money. I was given out, had crazy, super expensive house, and this creature was in its early 20s, maybe 22 or something. It was just ridiculous. Okay. Had its own super expensive house here in Sarasota County, like the, richest place in America, and endless drugs. All the young people at this drum circle were going over there and hanging out and doing drugs. It was all free and everything. And I was sitting there, and this Z creature introduced me to this creature. I was like, uh, and I said to it, man, you ain't right. You're not. I just immediately was like, you're not. You're like, what? You're trans. I can spot you. You're one of them. And it turned around and flipped. You know what I mean? It flipped into the devil right away. It was so angry. It was so angry. And time stopped. I mean, absolutely stopped. The anger, it just couldn't help itself. It's insane. Jumped into this body, starts talking with me. And of course, I'm smarter than it. And that's not, I know everything. And so it's trying to say this, that, back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, there ain't no way. Finally, it gets so angry that I'm not taking the bait. So angry. Just beside itself, starts screaming at me, you know what I mean? And pointing at me. Just absolutely. Have you ever had the devil yell at you? In an insane rage? Okay? It's impossible to describe, but these are the words that it spoke. You're never coming back from heaven ever again. I can take no souls while you're here. And I said, I'm going to keep you, I'm going to hold you to your word. And that was it right there. We looked at each other and I walked off. And that was the end of that, you see? And that was really kind of the last time that we spoke, me and the devil. You know, it declared you're not reincarnating, you're on the seventh plane, you're not coming back here, you have God's grace. I don't want you back. Go to heaven. I don't want you here. You're wrecking us. You're wrecking my whole scene, man. You're out. Go out. You know, it doesn't want me in the body now, you see, because I'm ruining the devil's kingdom on purpose every day with every breath I have. That thing won't take me, won't take my loved ones if I can help it, it won't take anyone else. As it's said, can't take any souls while you're here. That's right. That's right. Your words. Your words. Not mine. Your words. You see? And so you have to. You have to upset the devil so much and destroy his kingdom so much that it shows up and it's like, listen, listen. You know what I mean? Come on back over here. No. It did it to Jesus. It did it to me. It's done it to others. It must, if for you to win this time loop game in this body, if for you to not come back, you have to have this interaction with the devil. You have to be given the offer and decline it, or else you will be reincarnating. You will be. The warden hasn't given you an exit pass. Until it does, you're stuck here. Do you not get that? Jesus Christ gives you the grace, God's grace to leave, right? And the devil, the warden, gives you notification. Hey, you're out and you're never coming back. Hey, great. That was my only goal. Thank you. You see? That has to occur. If it hasn't occurred for you, you have to make it happen. You see, Jesus was not tempted. Not tempted. He tempted himself. Yeah, hey, I'm going to set up this whole thing. Guess what? And tell it ahead of time. Guess what? I'm going to die on the cross and run everything. Uh-huh. And so he did, right? And what do? Guess what, everybody? Free houses, taking away the whole devil's kingdom. That's the way it's going to roll. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. What are you going to do? Do you follow me? What are you going to do to upset the devil and save your soul and not have to come back into this eternal prison with your memory wiped each and every time? What could be more difficult than that? Come on. Can you not see the importance of this? Please get down on your knees and say, listen, Jesus, I need out of this thing. Whatever you got to do to get me out of here. You give me that experience. Whatever those experiences are, you bring me that devil. Or if you don't, I'll go hunt that devil. That's what I did. That's what I did. I was like, I'm going to kill the devil. That's it. I've had it. You're going to kill me or I'm going to kill you. Right? I was like, oh, I saw this video the devil has a office at Goldman Sachs in New York City. Called him right up. Right when I saw the video, I was like, click. Hey, I understand the devil has an office here and I want a meeting. They hung up on me. I was like, I'm going to kill that thing. But now I realize it's just a warden and it should be the warden of most of these creatures in here. It should be. You shouldn't get out of here. You should be stuck in here. You're evil. You haven't, move your consciousness forward an inch. You still acted like an animal, right? Oh, that's my food. I'm going to bite your leg until I get it. What? That's like greed of an animal and not of a good animal. It's like, what are you, a hyena or something? What are you? You're not human. You don't care about anything but yourself, It's not right the way they are. It's not right, period. You see? So we have to evolve through the forms, and then we have to involve, right? We have to change our consciousness away from what it is, right? I don't want the things of this world. Give me God and get me out of here. You have to do that. You have to win this game. And how do you know you won the game? The warden shows up and says, you're out. You can't stay here no more. You're out. How do you do that? You piss it off to the levels like, you know, hey, I started the riot in the prison, and guess what? Everybody's going to get free, or you're going to kill me. And the devil's like, well, I can't kill you, so get out of here. Do you understand? This is there. Everything else in your life is fake. This is the only thing that is real. And the sad part is you haven't experienced it yet. So you think it might be real, might not be real, and so on. But once you've had the experience, man, nothing else is real. So it's like, let me see what souls I can save today. You see? All right, people, you have to treat this as real, and you have to say that name over and over again. Jesus Christ, that name is our sword. That if you say it in your head, the devil can't get in there. Can't read your thoughts. Them 33, they can't read you. They can't, right? They can't understand what's going on, right? This one seems past us. Yeah. And you got to get past them and past them every single moment, every single day, wherever you go. You never take the bait, right? If I'm in a male form, right? So if I ever see a super beautiful woman or something like that, really, right? Because that this body is trained to react to that. You know what I mean? Every male form is, and like the female form is trained to react to the male form. Whenever I'm anywhere, on the beach or wherever I am, and there's a super beautiful woman like in my near proximity, I turn around like, what is going on? You see what I'm saying? Why has the bait been dangled in front of me right here, right now? What is about to play out that I'm not seeing? And I turn around, I look what's behind it, where, this is a marker, like, oh, this is some bait. Where's the hook? You think the bait showed up accidentally? No. So where's the hook, right? The best martial artist, this is saying, the best martial artist sees where the fight will be down the sidewalk and crosses the street and heads down the other sidewalk. Do you get it? And go on about your business from wrecking the devil's kingdom. Oh, didn't catch me. Later. Okay, come on, you could do this. Okay, you have the name. They never see God. They never see God. They can't see God. They can't win this game. They are stuck here. And guess what? They hate your guts for it. And at the same time, they love you for it. It's both, you know what I mean? Like they want to be you, but they're like, I have all these things, so I'm better than you. And that still inside, they know you've beaten them. You see, their things are meaningless, and they know that. And you walk by them like, you got things, sucker. I got God. What an idiot, That's what you're projecting at them to think of all the time in your thoughts. You're like, you morons. You lost again. And they're reading your mind. They hate it, They hate it. They're like, ah. So that's why, oh, well, pray for this one, pray for that one. They're like, okay, get this one, And that's how you win, okay? That's what speaking to the devil's like, all right? All right. You could do this. Take the name, Jesus Christ.